Hey people, and we are back for the second map. This is SQL versus SYF, round 1 of OWL7 Division 1. And we're going to watch for this mid as they come in, and Prime's got lots of stickies, and I don't see a Beast J. Where is he at?
He's just coming very delayed, yeah.
Yeah, big bomb in the medic though, Udall, wow!
Really effective, got good penetration.
Good penetration.
It's 2-on-2. Well, he really got in the middle, you know.
Rain definitely opened up.
Just like say that the scouts really just snowblind, and JMH is doing some nice cleanup work there.
Honestly, I felt like SQL had it right from the start. Those early stickies from Prime against those scouts really made, you know.
Yeah, the really... bomb on the medic definitely changed it, but at that point, Beast J was still very low, and I think Prime had nearly a full overheal.
I definitely think Rain did something to sort of balance out that mid play, but overall, Prime's early damage made a big difference, I think.
Yeah, Snowblind doing a good job avoiding damage, somehow staying alive there. And of course they've capped up that second point. So SQL will be looking to build Uber and get ready. Looks like Snowblind is on Boston Basher duties right here.
And Phelan, as per usual, is sniping again on last.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is an effective tactic to use because sometimes heavies can be a bit stretched for ammo, and just having that scout there just to grind Uber in the downtime, it's certainly helpful.
Yeah, well, Granary's only got that one big pack there, so unless you want to send someone into garage.
Well, there's actually 3 packs all pretty close, so you can get ammo pretty quickly, but they seem to like Boston Basher scouts, so let them have it.
Yeah.
And interesting defense here from SYF. They are quite forward, so not exactly sure. They're all coming out hard right here. Scouts rushing the demo.
I was gonna say I thought that demo of Beast J was a bit too forward.
Yeah, that was a very. I was just about to start questioning that hold there.
Oh, was it?
Nice.
Did the Uber go down there for or?
Yeah, he did get his Uber off, but really by then demo was already dead, and it was just a downhill battle.
I definitely think, I'm not too sure if that was SQL capitalizing on seeing that the demo was forward, or rather that just a bit of a lucky break there. But I definitely did think Beast J was definitely too forward there.
Yeah. However, Beast J for very
and
nice
Prime again a lot faster than Beast J. Beast J is really hurting already.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's so quick, man, honestly, because that was a pretty decent rollout from Beast J. But anyway, check out all this aggression over in this corridor. Beast J, JMH, Mikey, and Rain going down, and we see the remnants of this fight down here as Rain and Mike, and everyone goes down. Massive damage. What is going to happen here? The medic is going to go down. Udall going down right there, and Stera on 85% is going to get out with Ferris.
Oh, Prime
not unless
Prime.
Oh, well.
I definitely think they can re-enter right now with their medic advantage. And make something of this, although something to notice.
Greyhound is on medic.
Oh no, Stera dropping Uber.
I saw him up there, and I just thought, oh, yeah,
it's well played.
Very smart play there from Greyhound. I guess that drawing on his experience to make that play.
Yeah. Was that a medic drop? I didn't actually see that.
No, he didn't actually have it yet. He was on about 9 or something.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure because he would have had it, but he swapped it.
I didn't actually see the drop animation. I thought he was on about 99.
Okay, no, I thought he did crack 100, because right as he got it, he popped out the
thing. Getting called in 97, I'm going to stick with that, because I did not see a drop.
I was not watching at all, I was too busy looking inside mid.
But as we see here, SQL getting ready to push in. Well, they got 40% advantage, so they should be able to take this pretty comfortably, maybe even try and get it without the Uber.
Yeah, and big juggle right here, Prime's going to get him. But
Rain making a nice play there, and he actually does get out, so he's going to continue to be a nuisance.
Rain with them big rocket jumps, huh?
JMH is going back from now, so we might see a little bit of interesting backplay here.
I think at this point, Courtyard is looking so empty. I'm not too sure. I think when Ferriso gets up, SYF might actually be able to make something of this.
Well,
it's difficult though. They don't want to just waste this Uber advantage just to get into mid.
I definitely think they can use this Uber to muscle SQL out of Courtyard and possibly.
Well, SQL I think aren't even going to try and hold Courtyard here. No. They're gonna play this very defensively. As we say that, here come SYF out in the Courtyard.
SYF do really want to see if they can muscle SQL out with this Uber advantage.
Yeah, if they really want to go, they are committing.
Wraparound
play.
They're going to have to get in
And
here
it's going
real
all wrong for SYF at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like they're just going to commit Ferrisar to the back cap. They've got a fair amount of players back there though. SQL seem to be losing players on mid, is that? No, that is the ones in second. And Ferrisar, if the equaliser out, as they get that 2 times cap, he's going to come from behind.
Scout going in, soldier on the medic.
Oh! The medic goes down.
Nice. Good work, Ferrisar. He read
Thalian's
that
coming in to try something. He might be able to stop this. Oh, just so I say that, Mikey drops him. Only on 46 health.
Yeah.
I think very well done by, I think, was it Ferrisar that took down Yodel? They really
he came in, I believe it was through Z.
Yeah, they really needed
as the scout was pushing
there.
across from the rollers.
They would have definitely lost that round there, most likely with that huge Uber advantage on SYF side, I believe. Oh, no,
Absolutely.
Was it SQL side, rather. I also think it was a really great read by SQL, knowing that SYF was going to push from their right side, going through garage for that wraparound play.
Yeah, you could tell they were just waiting for the call that they were pushing in on the right side, and they were just going to immediately go through garage.
Right, well let's have a look at these Ubers. Udall with a solid 15% right there. Look, what's the scout going in huge? They lose JMH there, but Beast J getting lost for SYF. What happened there? Big
Oh, medic's weak as well. Prime's nice sticky though, but they lost the medic.
So Udall goes down and Stera stays up.
Rain has been making some really big plays, really big picks here, to kind of just really give his team SYF a really big advantage, or just...
I mean, his playstyle has its advantages and its disadvantages because he's not putting out the same kind of damage that Mikey is in terms of, you know, spam and coverage, but he does make those key picks.
He's making that key, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And just as I say that, unfortunate there for SYF.
Trevor is really
that soldier up top doing work.
Yeah, and Snowblind's just going to rush straight in on last point. Start capping it, they're not even going to be able to contest this at all.
That really is a medic's worst nightmare, having to go in with Uber and having no players at
Yeah, he kind of ran a laugh with his tail between his legs there.
He did make that mistake of dropping, I think it might have been a soldier there, and then ended up having no one to Uber onto. Really...
And Bisha, I'm not sure what happened, but he's not fully healed on this rollout. He is rolling right. I'm going to guess he's going to come out bottom left, I think.
I honestly
do a very
think,
delayed catwalk.
Prime seems to have read it though.
Yes, that catwalk's really it's outdated now. It's just too slow. You can get catwalk on 38 these days. I don't know why he's not using that.
Yeah.
Yodel already gone down to Rain. Rain making 2 picks here. Grey Hunter and Yodel.
Oh, and the medic. Oh, nice work. Stera goes down. Prime doing work right there. Only JMH left up. And of course Beast J and Ferrisar on...
He is coming in looking to make a play though. Walk straight into that rocket though.
I do have to say, although Rain is making some big picks there, we also saw Mikey. He also made some really nice picks there after losing their medic.
Yeah. And yet again, he's holding it up with Rain playing the way he plays. I mean, it's... I mean, you couldn't liken it to running a full-time sniper, but... Yeah. Anyway, SQL 20% advantage. Of course, they are out in yard. And as you can see, SYF getting into positioning up here. And getting ready for the inevitable push. Hopefully we don't end up with a nice big stalemate here. Because nobody likes a granary stalemate.
Well, I mean, SQL do have the Uber advantage here, but they have no incentive really to push. I mean, they're 2-0 up. It's always dicey pushing into mid. So I think they're just going to let SYF come to them, really. Which is how SQL usually prefer to play.
Yeah. Well, in this instance, it's certainly smart. And of course, SYF doesn't have anywhere near as much experience as SQL, so...
I think SYF are grouping up for a right side push here, and it's definitely going to go down. Scout Uber.
Oh, demo goes down. That's a big pick there by something.
I think Yodel was just unlucky there, not being able to save his demo. That was just really unlucky that he wasn't in the right position.
Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate situations where the demo's instinct is to fall back, but that puts him out of range of his medic. And just Snowblind and Yodel here up against Rain, Thalian, and Therisar, but they're all under 100.
SYF still, I think, definitely taking the one on that fight, that team fight. SYF, I think, definitely took that. And as you can see, SQL have completely.
They're about to get muscled off here, though. Rain is above again, up in a nice position. Not able to get the pick, but he does get out. Another scout on him, though.
Yeah, and of course the SYF guys just coming up, and they're just heading into mid.
Yeah, the real difference there was the medic advantage SQL had, allowing them to defend that second point.
So, and I mean, right now they've got 40%, so
they've got a bigger advantage to work off, and Rain is still dead. If they do something here about now, as Rain is coming into mid.
Oh, nice rocket by Ferrisar there, good prediction. Oh no, but the soldier jumps in, is he gonna get the medic?
Prime jumping.
Oh,
2 kills.
Massive, absolutely massive. SYF, pack your bags, go home, son. Gutted.
Team down, and actually, I think I'm pretty certain SYF are going to lose second off this push as well.
Oh no, they've lost second. Second is long gone. SQL is already pushing right in on their end.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Prime tries to go to last already.
Yeah, seriously.
If it was bulk playing, I would definitely expect it.
Mate, I would have been at last 10 seconds ago.
Right, have we got a pause or am I tripping?
No, it looks like we do have a pause. I'll check with the players.
So I'm gonna go looking for a running man. No sign of a running man.
Yeah, I just got the call from Veriside. There's a pause. I'll just check the actual reason.
Mikey doing the running man out in courtyard as he comes in.
JMH doing a bit of praying mantis action right there.
Yeah, and he's able to hold himself still, even though his dog tags are whistling in the wind. That's kind of like, you know, the flag on the moon right there, isn't it?
Actually, it's more of like a crouching tiger, hidden dragon kind of thing. What is that? I can't remember. Yeah. Well, you know, it's like he's just launched into the sky and he's about to come like smashing down, crunching concrete and sending shards flying.
I have to notice the distance, how high the scout is really up from the ground. What is that? It's got to be like a meter or something.
Well, that is a crouch jump, so that adds a bit more to it.
So I'm predicting this is going to be at least a 3-0 at this point. About to cap second, uber advantage. I really can't see how SQL could really mess this one up at this point.
Well, at this stage, Rain is negative 95 seconds, so I mean, wow.
Yeah, all I got back from Ferrisar was technical issues, so maybe one of the players was having issues with his net and he's just gone to reset his router.
Here we go, unpause.
Unpaused in full civilian mode. Looks like I'm going to have to quickly record a demo. And we are back live, so of course, Udall, I'm assuming a medic drop there because there was a massive Uber advantage before. What exactly happened there?
We are 90 seconds behind.
Ah, yes, of course, STV, what am I thinking of? Yep, so obviously something happened with the medics there. Udall now getting 100%, Stera coming up on 6.
I wouldn't be surprised if it happens after SQL get a cap here, but with the way they're going at the moment, probably not actually.
I'm kind of hesitating to push at this point, getting rid of stick. I really need to go about now.
They need to commit before
sure,
they get
getting
spammed.
pressured, but not really enough, and they've lost both scouts for it.
Yeah, they really needed to push a lot earlier when they got the urban. Secondly,
yeah, I think they must have had their timings mixed up because they were playing it like they didn't know SWF didn't have Uber.
Yeah.
And of course, he's losing Rain and getting pop right there. Ferrisar's upstairs.
SQL are going to come up. They're going to win this Uber fight right here, I believe. Although saying that, Big Straight has locked out the combo.
Prime trying to clear stickies 3 times
really, they just just players getting picked off the Uber. Grey Hunter got a couple picks, Mike picked a couple, and I mean, it's just not exactly sure. They're just struggling in some of the.
I think SYF really they really messed up their repush there. Kind of dropped a bit too many players, and
someone was obviously having some sort of issue because they paused on the end of the round there, and Prime yet again getting stickies over there. He's just so much faster than Beast J.
Rain coming in again with the big bomb. gets his man, but unfortunately SYF has already lost another 4 players now. Just Strera trying to run away, but
SQL scouts
he's going to go down.
Really good job. You can tell SQL scouts getting all the big kills in that play, in that mid fight, cleaning very well. SY have to do a good job of taking down Yodel though, so that's something they can...
Well, it just seems that SQL are prepared to lose Yodel because they know that they just seem to be like, well, Rain's going to go in and kill Yodel. We'll kill the rest of their team while he tries to do that.
Yeah, and Prime playing
because if you watch Mike's jumps, he's actually he's focusing on scouts and soldiers really, and just trying to drop them.
This is Prime you're talking about?
No, sorry, Mike on mids. He's not really tunneling the medic like Rain is.
I think, and I do agree that damaging those scouts on the SYF side and definitely giving SQL scouts a bit of an advantage going up against.
Yeah, well, it's a real snowball. Once you know the other demo starts getting the upper hand on mid, he can start pre-stickying walkway, and you can often put 50 or 60 scout damage into both scouts just as they get to mid. And I mean, when that happens, mid's basically over because your scouts just instantly have no presence.
They instantly walk with so much lower health than the other team scouts, and that really, yeah, I definitely agree with you. Just lose all presence that you could have had. You lose that territory control.
And they lose JMH there in the door. Beast J getting rid of him. So that's going to slow this push down even more. Surprise! Oh no, Phalion has gone sniper. Where is he? I want to catch this pick if it happens. But he's watching the right hand door, but SQL has definitely been favouring the left. I don't think Phalion's got off a single headshot tonight, which is quite odd.
No, I actually remember I think he got snowblind once on Snakewater. I think that's about all I've seen.
Not like Phalion, usually he is an absolute beast. Let's have a look at these scores. Oh no, Soldier jumping in, big bomb. Something going into finishing it, but they lose Beast J. Greyhunter goes down.
Oh, Strera drops, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, definitely all she wrote, and that's going to be 4-0, and we're going to halftime now, don't we?
Was that
no,
Mikey?
No halves, just final round.
Mikey was the one who initiated the first jump, was it? Or was it Greyhunter actually wasn't paying attention to that one?
Well, they seem to swap roles quite casually, Greyhunter and Mike at the moment.
I think what they did was they turned that suicide into a real, into an actual push, which is something I quite enjoyed doing in Frey. Just kind of...
Yeah, well, teams assume the suicide and they just start giving up ground and allowing you to walk in for free. And as I say, Prime, there we go, just destroying a scout right off the bat.
Yeah, and I mean, SYF pretty much locked in garage right here. They're going to have to fall back out to yard. Someone's still in there though. Rain obviously trying to go for a pick of some sort, I'm sure.
Oh, and JMH gets the pick on Beast, which is really, that's going to hand SQL this second.
Yeah, they will not...
I wouldn't be surprised though. I think Ferrisar will definitely try to block this, but they don't actually have Uber fast enough, so they're not going to have the ability to.
His eyes shut, he's going to get snapped.
Beast only coming up now, so and they've just lost something again, so really it's just snowballing for SYF at the moment.
Yeah, Uber popped, Rain getting popped right there.
Yeah, and Prime's coming back in now with a full load, and he's just going to start putting down massive damage. They're all bunched up in the corner here, SYF.
Yeah, and
dropping 3 of the big plays on that side.
The GGs go up.
17 minutes for a 5-0.
Just look at that though, Stera on 35, Util on 45. That's quite a big difference. But yeah, we're going to wrap that up right there. We will be right back with an interview with hopefully a few members of each team. So hold fire, people, that is on the way. Righto, and we are back. We've only been joined by Ferrisar just now for an aftermatch interview right here. Ferrisar being from SYF. However, No Mercy, one of the ozfortress admins and player from VR, has also joined us. He was catching the tail end of this match after his first OWL game for the season. But Ferrisar, how did they go?
Not as good as we hoped. We had a brilliant start to Snakewater. We thought we were playing really tight games, and then we started to slip a little on our mid fights, and it echoed for the rest of the match.
Okay, fair enough. A's? It sounds like you want
Did you?
to say
Did
something.
you? Yeah. Did you? Did you? I did. I really was impressed by the way you guys played that first round. I was really. You were. Uh, I would actually say I was about to say you were evenly matched, but I actually thought you were outplaying SQL quite well in that first round. What really was it that kind of cost you guys in the end? Did you just was it just SQL being able to adapt to the way you guys are playing, or you guys not being able to adapt, or what were the kind of errors that kind of cost you that?
Well, we realized after their first last push that they had no idea how to play Snakewater. And what we decided to do was just we'd sit back because we knew our defenses were stronger than their offense, and we'd wait for a good enough condition for us to push off second. And it was good for us in the first round. On the second round, unfortunately, Stero dropped Uber on the repush, and we sort of lost last.
Yeah, I did think on the first round definitely it did look really solid. Your repush did look really solid, and you kind of just took the momentum and just kept it rolling to take one cap at a time. Just the further rounds, I think getting a bit more risky with the way you guys made those repushes. I think definitely pushing. I definitely noticed once you wanted to do a Uber repush into their Uber while it was even Uber, some just kind of risky plays like that. Were you guys kind of more willing to take risks after the first round, or was that something?
Yeah, we were more open to it considering the fact that they weren't playing strongly, so we thought we could get away with it, but we weren't pulling it off quite as well, and there was a bit of miscommunication with some of our pushes, which did cost us then.
Yeah, and that is very unfortunate for you guys. Just quickly heading over to No Mercy. Now, obviously, VR played beta tonight. How did you guys find it, and what was the score?
Yeah, that's right. We had our OWL match tonight, and we played Snakewater, followed by Gravel Pit, and it was a tie. We won the Snakewater, which we were fairly happy with in VR, but then Beta came back and pretty convincingly stomped us on the Gravel Pit. So take a point each, and I think we both got a bonus point. So we're not too disappointed with the result, but it's definitely a lot to take away from it. When it came down to it, I think, looking back at Snakewater, I don't know how well prepared Beta were on the map, but I think we won the majority of rollouts, and pretty much just carried that on, like on the back of that. We won a couple of free rounds, and like the few rounds we lost, I think most rollouts defined the rounds, though there was a couple of repushes off second. They tried crits a few times, but it was never really as successful as they hoped.
Okay, so based on that, how did VR find Beta, and then conversely, in a sec, how did you think you were going to do against SQL, and how did it work out? You know, regards to your expectations, Ferris.
We actually thought we'd win Snakewater, and for that first round that went for 15 minutes, we really thought we had it. But yeah, we identified that on the mid fights we were going really aggressive quickly when we had big advantage, instead of just taking our time healing up and hammering them back with their disadvantage, and we sort of started getting stomped by the fact that it's primed and Snowblind and Jamie will forward you.
Yeah, it seemed on the mids though as well that sometimes you would get that initial damage advantage, but you wouldn't be able to convert that into kills, and they would actually be able to convert their damage much more efficiently. They seemed to kill every player that got weak, whereas, you know, at the end of mids there'd be 2 or 3 SQL players sitting on red health.
Yeah, and this is definitely
I actually thought your initial positioning on mid was quite good. Your whole team, Ferris. So it was more that, as Bulk said, just not being able to convert the damage into kills. Something that SQL was doing, although they didn't have quite the good positioning that you guys had on most of the mid rollouts.
Yeah, and I think we can attribute that to Rain roaming. He tended to be really aggressive early, and he did things when we just couldn't back him up or capitalize on it. And so I was really low since Mike jumped on my head with his bloody gunboats, and then Rain jumped on them. But yeah, all things considered, a reround is just slightly better, and they just kept hammering that into us.
Do you think you were a bit underprepared for Granary? I mean, I definitely think Snakewater was a much stronger game for your team personally. Was SQL just that much more experienced on Granary, or were there a lot of key mistakes that you guys made?
Bit of both, I reckon. That and the fact that I myself have a ton of issues at the moment since I just got capped this morning, and my mouse most of the time decides not to work.
Did You hear that,
So-
guys? He's blaming technology and lag.
No,
2v1. No, I get you. I feel you.
It's been for a while, yeah, and especially when there's like a mic come flying past my screen, I just can't move my mouse for it to respond, and then he's on my medic, and I'm like,
But do you think your team as a whole, though, was a little unprepared against SQL for Granary?
It's possible. We haven't played enough recently, in my opinion. And sometimes we've gotten games with lower ranked teams that just hasn't been good practice for us, since we haven't really had to coordinate or communicate anything. We've just basically just done go and just gone forward constantly, and it's just not been very good.
It's definitely understandable that that it is a big step up, even though you've got a lot of Div 1 players and your team SYF is still predominantly come from Division 2. But just bear with me for one sec. We've been joined by the clan leader of SQL. JMH, what is up, dude?
How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, man. So how was that game for you?
It got better in the end. It was a bit messy at the start, but it was expected. Lack of practice on Snake Water, but yeah, it was good to get the win in the end.
Yeah, well, I've heard this quite a few times before, that SYF does, make quite an effort in regards to Snake Water and Gully and the likes of that, because they know that the likes of SQL and IM definitely, they've played Badlands and Gran every night for X amount of years. But overall, how did you find the Snake Water game in regards to SYF on mid?
Well, they certainly had some interesting plays, and it really paid off from the start. And we just had to, just focus and get early picks and just work as a team, rather than trying to go, hero-like. And
Were you a bit worried after that first round? I noticed SYF did a really good job of taking that first round off you guys. Were you a bit concerned after that first round? And I noticed that you guys
Not
came
really.
back really strongly as well.
Not really. We just had to just focus and get back to square one, to the basics, and just focus on working as a team, getting those picks, and working off that. That's all you had to do. Just had to, get the panic down and say, look, it's only one down, and it's plenty of rounds to go, and plenty of time to go.
I suppose it's definitely the attitude you want for it. SQL this season, how are you feeling about Spadebox and the BOBs?
Well, it's going to be an interesting season coming up. Probably the closest one we've probably seen in a long time. A lot of teams coming up, probably at an even skill level, and the scrims we've been having lately really show that. So, I don't know, matches that is only their accounts at the moment, and scrims don't mean anything, so we'll see what the season says.
Absolutely.
Well put.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, thank you very much to Ferrisa and Jamie for joining us, and of course thank you to No Mercy for coming in and giving us a quick overview of VR versus Beta. I'm hoping I can cover that game this week if I have time. Definitely going to be hunting those STVs for that. But yeah, of course, this is GreaverTV. I am Greaver, and I've been joined by Avril and Bulk for the cast tonight. Thank you very much for joining me, boys. And keep an eye on GreaverTV on YouTube in the coming months, because there's going to be plenty of hot OWL7 action coming your way. Have a good night. If you like what you've just seen, click on the links to check out more Team Fortress 2 coverage by GTV. Remember that you can help us promote Team Fortress 2 by subscribing and liking the videos.